All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Mig.
All right, well, welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Of course, I'm your host, Lance Miliaccia, with my co-host, George Ballantine. It's tip of the spear, baby, Monday morning. You know how we do it. It's rise and grind. Of course, educating and unifying the country one episode at a time. Nobody's safe on this show. It's not good for the American people, and it's not good for the nation. Well, then, GTFO. Don't care. We're not going to kiss anybody's ass just because we voted for them or otherwise. So that goes for everybody in D.C. I'm expecting these deep state arrests I was promised. And until those get delivered, well, you can suck a big fat one. There's no doubt. George B., good morning to the audience. Good morning to George. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Just, I don't know. It's a weird Monday. Already tech's starting to act up a little bit, but whatever. It is what it is. Freaking manic Monday, man. Really is today. Raining outside.
Did you get some sleep?
Yeah, some.
Yeah.
The gas company's supposed to come today, install new lines, take the meter out, new one, but it's raining outside. Now it just.
Yeah. But you need the rain, haven't you? Hasn't it been fairly dry?
It's been raining like crazy the last 2 weeks.
Has it? Man, we have not gotten enough rain here in Colorado. It's extremely dry.
Oh.
And
the Mikey Schwartz Show rated us.
Schwartzeroni, Dr. Michael Schwartz. If you're not following his show, you should be. Great show, great people. We love having him on. He's always enjoyable, and you can catch him on the radio show with me. So, yeah, let's give a shout out. Now, listen, if you love the show, it's easy. Just hit that follow button. If you're new to the show, if you're new to the audience, I was talking to a couple people on X. They said they were going to check out the show this week. If you guys are here, let me know you're in the audience. Talked to a guy, I think his name was Lehigh or Lay. I was talking to him about some stuff that had to do with the strategic reserve. Very smart guy.
Leah? Sure was a guy?
Yeah, it was a guy.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a guy. But I gotta tell you, I enjoyed talking to him. So if you guys engage us on X, check out the show if you like what we have to say. I was just talking about the strategic reserve, a guy named Gunther Eagleman. I felt like he was doing clickbait. He mentioned that, oh my gosh, it's amazing. We're exporting more oil than ever. I don't think that's amazing for the audience. I think it's bad for the country right now because our strategic reserve is at a 40-plus year low. It hasn't been this low in 40 years. And everybody jumped out of the woodwork on me and said, oh, what Joe Biden did. I don't give a shit who did it. Okay, the new administration's been in for a while now. They've had plenty of time. How come they're not refilling the strategic reserve? Yeah, I know the prices suck. But, hey, they're printing fiat currency for everything
Can I add something to your thing?
Yeah.
So when he said, oh, we're producing more oil than any other country, which is great. I'm happy we are. And I totally agree with you. We need to fill up our reserves. But it's not a bad thing that we're exporting a lot of oil. But just so people know, profits from U.S. oil exports go to private oil production companies, commodity trading houses, and wealthy shareholders. It doesn't benefit us in any way, because you would think we would have lower gas prices if we're the number one oil production in the world, but really not.
Well, and what's interesting, of course, Gunther Eagleman, I like him usually. He's a good guy, does a lot of posting, but I don't like clickbait posts. I don't like somebody saying, oh, it's great. We're back on. It's not good for me. It's not good for the country. I don't care about the oil export. The U.S. doesn't benefit from it. The American people don't benefit from it. Does it add revenue to the shareholders? Sure. But I don't like that our strategic reserve, that's a national security issue. And I don't give a shit who did it. But Joe Biden sucks. You don't need to convince me of that. He was a lousy president, an installed president. He stole his election. So you don't see any consequences for that. You don't see any consequences for these auto pen pardons. You got Fauci floating around like he's a celebrity, thinking he's a big deal. And that guy should literally be in serious trouble. Now, I know a lot of states are enjoining that action. So my thing is, when you guys, if you engage us online, feel free. Love to have that kind of interaction. This gentleman, jumped in with me, and he had a lot of very smart things to say, and I appreciated the engagement. At first, he was a little bit antagonistic, but I don't blame him. He didn't really know what I was saying. And what I'm saying is, refill the strategic reserve. You got fiat currency. You print the damn money for everything else possible. We're $40 trillion in debt. What's another couple of, maybe another 50, 100 billion? It doesn't matter. It is what it is. So I don't agree. I don't agree with what's going on. So, all right, listen, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, of course, the 62.2 gram prepper bar. Yep. Gold and silver. George and I love it. Hopefully you love it too. Hopefully you bought some 2.5 years ago when you told you to, because you'd be way up and you'd be thanking the Big Mig Show. I think there's a ton of upside still on silver. I'm not going to predict gold because it's hard for me to do that. But silver, I think it's still way undervalued. We've got a major shortage online. Lots of technologies needed, military industrial complex, green technology, you name it, batteries, the new Samsung technology for EV batteries. Silver. So the prepper bar, it's easily broken down to your choice of 3 separate denominations. Of course, it fits a multitude of needs: diversification, asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil. Or in the case of the prepper bar, it's a very unique utility for barter and trade. I'm going to hold it up. You can see there's 3 different denominations. And it's a perfect gift. Everybody loves gold and silver. And these are the great thing about the prepper bar coming out of Genesis Gold Group. Exclusively mined and minted in the great US of A. They're always selling out fast. They've got them in stock right now. They just got a restock a couple of days ago, so they're set. Get that assay report, because there's a lot of counterfeit gold coming out. Not that you're going to have to worry about it with Genesis, but in case you ever want to sell it down the road, you want to hold on to that assay report. Head over to genesisgoldgroup.com. That's right, genesisgoldgroup.com. Or you can call them at 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154. Make sure you let them know that the Big Mig Show sent you. They'll have a special discount for you. Keith Height, if you want to talk to him directly, he's an expert. I love the guy. He's going to be coming on the show probably this week or maybe the early part of next week. We've got to figure out. I'm going to talk to George about some scheduling. But we're going to have him come back on. We're going to talk about the future of gold and silver and lots of other economic ideas. Now, if you want to buy bulk, if you want to do IRA or 401k, Genesis Gold Group does that also. So if you want to do some diversification in your retirement accounts, you can do that directly through Genesis Gold Group. You can hold it yourself or you can go through them. GenesisGoldGroup.com, baby.
Lance, put your phone on mute.
I know. Will you text
Break me off a piece of that prepper bar.
I texted you like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, sorry about that.
So somebody else just texted you.
No, that was you. It would just, I guess it could put through twice. All right. But anyway, listen, of course, lots going on. As always, it's Monday morning. And we talked about this briefly the other day, but I got to tell you, this is some crazy stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about socialism and communism. I know how I feel about it. Number one, there's laws on the books. We're not supposed to do it at all. But what is going on with these people out there that want nothing but free handouts? And of course, the Democrats are preying on that. You see what's going on in New York. They want to have free grocery stores. You see our own government, the SNAP benefits. I saw a great other idea the other day, George, for SNAP benefits. I actually reposted it. Somebody said, well, why do we give them where they can go spend it on junk food and everything else? Why, if the MREs are good enough for our troops, why don't we just issue MREs to people that need food? And I like the thinking. I thought it's a pretty good idea. You get a full
probably might cost
meal.
more. You know, government pays high for everything.
Well, maybe in bulk you could maybe there's negotiating. I'm sure the government should be doing a better job of negotiating with all these companies, but it was a pretty interesting concept.
I don't know. Wait, would it be better given MREs? Because I mean, after we had what's the name from Moms America expose the MREs
right, coming out of China.
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
I don't know. But I don't like what the money's getting spent on. There's so many scams. They busted another group that was buying SNAP benefit cards for cash. Another big group out of New York. Look, I don't like
listen, they've been doing that. Lazy. I know they've been doing that since I found out about that in the 90s because I know people that did it and stores that are doing it. That's been going on for a long, long time. That ain't nothing new.
I think if you get caught selling your SNAP benefits, I think
you should lose them.
Yeah, I think if you get caught selling the card or selling the benefits, and I don't know how it works. I don't know how they do that. You seem to know a little bit. How does that work, George? You walk in with your SNAP card and say, hey, what?
So they'll go to like a bodega,
Mhm.
and let's say they have $300 in food stamp benefits.
Mhm.
The guy at the bodega will offer them, let's just say $300. I don't know, $200 cash or $150 cash, depends whatever they work out. He'll take the card, he'll go and buy stuff for his store to fill up,
Mm.
and he's just making more profit.
I got you. And then he gives the card back to the person. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you have to give it back. Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, I'm brand new to this idea. I had no idea that this was something you could do. Well, not good. And I don't like this socialist push. Now, the Democrats are all in on this. It seems like this is all they want to do. Socialism. Because, of course, let's face it, you can control people if you give them a roof over their heads and you give them a cell phone, and you give them free health care, and you give them food. The minute they don't go along with your agenda, well, you're going to lose your benefits. You know, the Republicans will take your benefits. They're going to take your benefits. You won't have any benefits if we're not in place. Or they say, well, you didn't do what we wanted you to do, so guess what? You don't have any SNAP benefits. It's a very easy way to control people. It's not good. And I think it creates a lazy generation. I think we've got a lot of lazy people out there that are just as happy. And you've got these people, I mean, it's women, but I'm not going to blame it just on the women, that are popping out kids because as you have more kids, you get more benefits. And they'll have 6, 7, 8 kids. They're not doing a good job with any of them. And of course, they get more benefits. And I don't think that should. I think you get enough benefits for 2 kids. You go beyond that, then you'll have to figure it out. I think we're motivating them to create this generation of lost children. And I think we're creating lazy people. I don't know, George, you agree with me? I don't know how you feel about this.
Are we creating lazy people? I mean, it's lazy all over the place, just period. But I mean, it's all about control. Socialism is all about control. The more control they have over people, the more that they can stay in their positions, make their money without you knowing. And there's great examples. I was actually watching a video this morning. Somebody was going around in New York, and mostly younger than them. But there was a professor in this conversation from NYU, which was ironically funny. And this person, he asked questions, had a young gentleman with her that was from Venezuela, that escaped Venezuela 9 years ago. And when all these people are for socialism, he had to explain to them what real socialism is and how it operates. And most of these young kids, I'm going to call them kids, but younger people, they had no idea because they're not teaching that stuff. They're just teaching the one part of socialism without actually teaching the real effects of it. I mean, was it Karl Marxism? I mean, it's crazy. Socialism, communism, all becoming the same shit.
Do you feel like, George, sometimes some of these young people, and I'm going to say younger people because I'm not saying that aren't older people abusing the system. But, when you really need the help, I'm happy that it's there. But I don't think it should be a lifetime of benefits because it creates a person that doesn't want to. And I see the people online. I've seen some of the short clips. They come off TikTok and otherwise, and they're saying, well, I don't want to work. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Why should I have to live my life working away and slaving away? Why shouldn't the government take care of me? And I look at that and I think, what an awful scenario. Where did these children come from? Or where did these young people come from that's their attitude? We were always told you have to work your ass off if you want anything. I didn't come from a rich family. I came from a very, probably poor to lower middle class family. And you had to grind it out. It wasn't
my
like
father, all his brothers, even on my mom's side, they all immigrated here. They all own businesses and, successful. They're not crazy million, maybe some, but, they're living your great American life.
George, did you get an allowance when you were a kid?
An allowance?
Did you get any kind of allowance?
Nah. No.
We used to get an allowance, but it was based on what we did. It was based on certain prices for certain things at my house. So if you vacuumed or you cleaned the kitchen or you cleaned the bathroom, or if you cleaned the yard, raked leaves or whatever, there was a certain amount tagged to it.
You know what?
My mom would update that list. And it wasn't
how
much,
old were you
25 cents.
how old were you when this was going on?
Very young.
I mean, I was out there with my dad with my little plastic lawnmower and stuff and helping raking and stuff. We wanted to be out there. Like it was, you didn't have to give us money. But
I was very young, but both of my parents were working. So a lot of times if we were at home, we would do stuff. And then my mom would check the list.
We had to clean our rooms though. Our rooms had to be tidy. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Mine too. You had to clean your own room.
But
and
as far as
you had to do that because my mom was working, my dad was both working. We had to go ahead and grind it out, you know. And she would check the work, and if you didn't do a good job, she'd tell you, "No, you got to redust, and then I'll pay you." And you could get 25 cents for this, 50 cents for this, 75 cents for this. And that's how we got an allowance, or we didn't get an allowance just like, "Oh, here's a couple bucks for you." It was never like that. And my mom was trying to instill a good work ethic in us. And it worked. I mean, I have a good work ethic.
Well, I'll tell you what. So probably from like 11 years old, my dad, his main thing was carpentry and masonry. So he would take me, if I was in summers or off of school, he would take me to work with him.
Yeah.
And learn. So I was even growing up when he had the car dealership. When I was even in high school, summers, I was working there. I actually didn't have a choice. My ass was working.
Yeah.
But, it instills a good work ethic. And when I was doing that, he was giving me money, though. But, like, when you said allowance, no allowance. I mean, the ice cream guy came. Can we get an ice cream? They give us $1.
Cars or doing whatever with your dad, and he gave you some kind of money to do it. That's kind of the same thing because you had to put some work in. You weren't just handed money. He didn't just say, "Hey, here, George, here's a 20 spot for you."
But before that, we asked for something if they could afford it, and it was, they think we should deserve it, they would get it for us. But not like we had crazy stuff or nothing.
No,
but if the ice cream truck came by, where they come by and you hear the bells ring, can we get an ice cream? And they give us $1 here. Go ahead.
Yeah, the ice cream truck would come around by. We had Joe. We had
mine was John the ice cream man.
We had Joe the ice cream man. It was what was that called? Good humor ice cream.
Yeah.
The good humor ice cream truck. Yeah, he would come around the neighborhood, you ding, 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 and you run out and you get an ice cream. Yeah, I mean, listen, they did with everything they could for us. They gave us a good life.
Yeah.
And, things were a lot cheaper. It wasn't as bad. I mean, my parents paid $9,000 for I think it was $9,600 for their first house in White Plains, New York.
Actually, too.
We lived there our entire lives.
Somebody just reminded me, too. So me and a couple of my friends, like in the winter, we grab our shovels and go shovel sidewalks or driveways for money. We'd make money. Shit, we went Christmas caroling. Me and like 3 of my friends, just to make money. I
hustled. You did lawn mowing. You did shoveling.
Plus, I had a paper route.
I did too.
I had a paper route. The only problem, was paper route was on Sunday because the paper was thicker, it was heavier. You had a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Like your bike, put in your basket, and the bike would only go like this. Sometimes mom would take me in the car.
Yeah. The Sundays were big.
And then you go collect your money from everybody on that certain day. Everybody was cool. They were like,
Yeah, I got paper boy of the month many times, and it was the Gannett. It was the Gannett newspaper chain. But I had a little basket, like a metal basket. In fact, funny enough, my mom, when I was cleaning,
hey, grab it, boom, chuck it. Grab it, boom, chuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, now people do it from their cars. Just took it away from kids because probably kids didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I hustled a paper route. I hustled breaking leaves. You had to hustle. You had to hustle to get those extra bucks, and I did. I did a lot of that stuff. All right, well, let's talk about this independent Georgia veteran talking about Democrats have lost their minds. Hold my nose, lunatic socialists. He's talking about on C-SPAN, the Democrats have lost their minds, says he will hold his nose and vote Republican to stop the party's socialist agenda. Now, this is a disabled military veteran from Georgia, and this is a blistering warning, and I agree with him. I think this is a horrendous game plan. First, it was the illegal immigration, right? They wanted to create this massive ghost voter pool, and now they're going to buy votes with socialist benefits. And, look, I mean, the United States, I guess we do have a socialist party. It appears to be the Democrats. I mean, does anybody else concerned about this agenda that they want to buy votes through social benefits?
You know,
I mean, they just don't know how to run a free and fair election. The Democrats always have to have some scam. And I'm not telling you the Republicans don't do some of their own. I'm saying in this particular case, you know, you don't hear socialist ideologies coming out of the Republican side of the fence.
so actually, there was I watched a clip from Joe Manchin, and the reporter asked him, he's like, "No," he goes, I won't support them and nothing to do with them. They're crazy. There's certain Democrats that are speaking out against it. Not enough, though. And then you have like some embracing them: Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, the Squad. Retards. They're just slowly creeping in. They're going in certain Democrat areas where they know if they send that message that people believe that shit, and they'll start winning. And those regular Democrats that they're losing, I mean, they're not. This is what happens when the Democratic Party's not speaking up about it. It's just, and they're slowly going to take over. You might not, if all these socialists win this election cycle, we may not feel their wrath, but then another 2 years, if more come in, then you'll start feeling, because then they'll have power to vote and stuff. I mean, you have a bunch of primaries tomorrow, and particularly you have Michigan at that Senate primary. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a good show. See what's going on. But let me play the clip, because we had a bunch of clips from this segment here.
Tim in Georgia, which party do you plan to vote for in November?
Well, I'm a little bit confused on that right now, because the Democrats have lost their mind. This is insanity what is going on. You're sitting here and telling me that the United States of America is going to have a socialist party that is going to be running the country? What military? I did 11 years, and as a disabled veteran, I would never join the military and fight for a socialist republic. This is insanity. So now I'm thinking I have to vote Republican to stop this from going on. But then I look at them, and I'm like, they don't have the guts to stand up to nothing that Trump puts in front of them, except McCloskey. She's the only one that seems to be able to do that, and she's leaving. So now, in order to stop this insanity from the Democratic Party, I'm going to have to hold my nose and vote Republican, because I would rather vote Republican and have this country stay the United States of America, the Democratic Party, the Democratic country we are, than to turn it over to a bunch of lunatic socialists. That's what they are. And you name me one socialist country that is not on their hands and knees right now struggling. And that's where we'll be if we continue down this road.
And Tim, do you support the president's actions in Iran, the war there?
I supported it, but like I said, I'm a disabled veteran. I was there when the embassy and the Marine barracks got bombed in Lebanon, and we all knew that Hamas was the one behind it. But the government didn't do anything behind it. The problem I got with Trump is he doesn't have an end game. He doesn't have no way out. He had no way to come in and actually secure it. It's like he's sitting here playing with them, in my opinion, and it's strictly my opinion, to keep the oil prices up so the oil companies could come in and profit off of it, just like he went into Venezuela. That was an illegal action. You can't go into a country and kidnap the president, put some fake charges on him, and take over his whole oil field and his whole whatever and give it to the oil companies to run. Now he's out of control. I supported him when his first term, but this second term, he's turned into a madman with this war. So I'm stuck. But I'm not. I would rather ride with Trump than give this country to a bunch of lunatic socialists who want to get rid of the military, get rid of ICE, get rid of the cops. They just want to turn this place into a madhouse.
Okay.
And if we
Tim in Georgia, I'm going to leave it there. Tim's an independent.
Yeah, liberal news don't want that. That hurts their.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that.
That hurts their cause there. God forbid. I'm surprised they kept that person on as long as they did. But and that's coming from the horse's mouth. And, you know, we need people to speak up about it because you have, and here's one great example. You have Wisconsin, you have a Democratic Socialist that's running for a governor. And, you know, they try to flip-flop. They want to tell you what you want to hear, this and that, but then when they get caught up, they want to try to retract. And this person, she wants to abolish ICE, abolish the prisons. A what? And Lance, she's actually been admitted. She admitted this one. I'm surprised she admitted it. Being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, cutting herself on purpose, spent time in a psychiatric hospital. Okay. I mean, granted, it happens. Fine. But are you qualified to be governor? Her name is Francesca Hong.
Well, here's my question for the audience. Me personally, if somebody's been diagnosed with a psychiatric issue anytime in their life, a serious psychiatric issue, was because I guess she overdosed on lithium. She also, this cutting thing, you know, which I know that can happen with young kids. My thing
That's
is
with adults, a lot of adults. They just want, because they want to try to feel something. Again.
Well, but here's my question, George, and I'll ask the audience also. Somebody with a history of psychiatric issues, is that really who we want in a leadership position? How do we know they're still not struggling with this bipolar disorder? How do we know that she's still not having issues that she's hiding from the public? I mean, these are pretty severe mental health issues, and it's a mental health crisis. I've said it across the nation. But is this the kind of people we want in leadership positions? Should they even be allowed to run when they have a history of psychiatric issues? I'm not talking about some minor thing. I'm talking about what we're discussing here, where she overdosed herself on lithium, and she's blaming it. Of course, she's taking the low road, in my opinion, and she's saying that she felt like an outsider as a daughter of Korean immigrants. What kind of bullshit is that? To me, that just doesn't make any sense. And now she's a self-described Democrat socialist. You know, the Democrat Socialists of America endorsed her as a candidate. But would you guys think this is a good idea to have somebody that has a history of psychiatric issues in a leadership role?
Well, you know, Lance, for example, they have all her posts where she said defund the police, abolish the Senate, abolish ICE, and now she's flip-flopping. But we have the post. We have her post. So is she flip-flopping? Is it a mental health problem? I mean, she did say she had bipolar disorder. So how do you know like you said, how do you know what you're going to get with this person?
You're going to get a shit sandwich is what I think.
Let's play the clip.
You want ICE out of Wisconsin. I understand the abolishing ICE is something you probably still want, but you also said to defund the police 4 times. And you want to defund the police as a first step towards abolishing the police. Now, President Trump won Wisconsin twice. It is the ultimate purple state. I set my novel there for a reason. It is the place where you have to have the most appeal to both sides or to independent voters. Why shouldn't people take you at your word when you say that you want to defund the police and go towards abolishing it?
Dana, first of all, I have to say thank you so much for featuring my home state in your novel. And I believe that as a democratic socialist, what that means is that I would like to put working class people first.
Yep, the old flip-flop. But yeah, Lance, there's more. We got more from this woman. We have an interview, that's right, that reveals this democratic socialist from Wisconsin saying abolish ICE and prisons. I mean, it's crazy. She said, I'm quoting now, that she stated that her perfect world would be a world without prisons because we all see the humanity in one another and then we know nobody's disposable. Well, I don't know if I see the humanity in someone that just blatantly murders somebody for whatever psychotic reason they're doing it. So I have to disagree with her. I don't know how you feel. Or somebody goes and rapes or takes advantage of children and stuff. She wants them to be on the streets. No prison. I bet you though, if one of those people attacked her, raped her, how would she? I wonder how she'd feel on her stance then. What do you think? She thinks she'd still be for it? I mean,
I think it's unlikely. I think it's easy to sit on your pulpit and go, abolish the Senate, abolish ICE, abolish the police. We want recreational marijuana legalization, a statewide moratorium on data centers, medical debt abolition measures. Require public schools to teach Asian Americans, Asian history. I mean, you come here to the United States, your family came here for a better life. Stop whining and crying and stop trying to give everything away for free. This is just standard operating procedure. And I don't think that this is a person I would want in a leadership role.
Jackalopes daisies. We need to adopt a new Idaho law of death by firing squad for pedos. Listen, I don't care how the system puts them to death, as long as they do it. But firing squad's pretty cool. I mean, I would volunteer myself with the rifle for the state. I got no problem. I'll even write in a bullet a little message. Let me play the clip.
Yeah, let's do that.
You once tweeted about defunding the police, and tonight you were asked whether you would sign that bill to defund the police, and you said no.
If anyone's been defunding the police, it's been Robin Voss and the Republicans who have not been adequately funding shared revenue. And you have seen that local governments have had to make very difficult decisions. And I believe that as governor, that we want to make sure that we're prioritizing public safety. And I believe that those types of bills that could include more investment in the things that we know prevent crime. If you want to be tough on crime, you better be tough on the causes.
Why do you believe that the police must
Because the reality of this moment and the types of public safety systems that we have, I want us to be sensible and realistic, but we know now that the billions invested in the criminal legal system is not working. We are spending on incarcerating an individual more than tuition for UW-Madison. That, this is about making sure that local law enforcement is working with community, that we are taking resources from the state and investing in things like public education, victim services, out-of-school programs for our kids to go and have a great, be able to be themselves. These are things that data and facts have shown that prevent crime. Again, if you want to be tough on crime, you better be tough on causes.
Do you still long-term want to abolish police, but ultimately?
I believe that we have to be serious about public safety, and I'm going to be a governor that is more serious than anyone else in making sure that we are building systems of care, that we are focusing on lowering crime, getting guns off of our street, and making sure that folks who are incarcerated, which 90% of those folks will be going back to community, that we're lowering recidivism rate. And it's appalling to me that for folks who are working within our prisons, they have some of the highest suicide rates of any job and occupation. So this system is not working. If we want to be serious, we better be putting these billions into the things that we know prevent crime.
Would you care to clarify?
Sounds easy. Sounds like no big deal. I don't like the prison system, but I don't think what she's recommending is a good idea, because there are a lot of people that belong in prison.
Lance,
I've known some of them over the years.
Let me give a shout out. Steel Toe Morning Show just rated our stream. What's up, brother? Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. Go check his show out. Give him a follow too. Help support everybody. I see some idiots in the chat attacking my somebody said something about one of my mods.
Well, in 2020, she tweeted, "Cancel Thanksgiving. Should have done this in 1621." She called it a celebration of colonialism and an original super spreader event tied to the pandemic. So there's another great quote by her. 2019, she posted about getting anxiety at a Culver's in Black River Falls because of too many old white people. Well, that's nice and racist. Too many old white people in Culver's, Black Rivers Falls. I'm sure Wisconsin didn't like that. She was sued for nearly $30,000 in credit card debt from her closed restaurant, though her parents did pay it off for her. She's got no executive experience, no budget to manage, just 6 years in the state assembly. She pushed the Green New Deal for Wisconsin. You know what a sham that was across the nation. Her only real win was a minimum wage hike for tip workers. Yeah. Wisconsin, you can do better. I don't think you need somebody that's got mental health issues, that wants to abolish Thanksgiving, that wants to defund the police, that wants to abolish the Senate, and is intimidated by old white people. And it sounds like she's a racist. I think you guys can do better. Hopefully you're not going to let this psycho win, but whatever. I mean, it's your state. You do what you want. But I think I would come out and force to not let this happen. What do you got here on Bobby Kennedy, man? What's going on? What's going on with him?
Bobby Kennedy? Just spitting back at the liberal media again. He was on with Dana Bash from CNN, of all places. And, they're debating, they're going back and forth. And she's like, I'm not debating with you. Or this and that. Of course you don't want to debate because they're wrong. And they just don't want to admit they're wrong. They still want to suck Fauci's D. That's right. I said it. I'm dealing with a liberal on Facebook. You grew up in my town. And you just, no matter what you show with Fauci, he still loves Fauci. And I asked a specific question. I go, knowing what you know now with Anthony Fauci, if there was a pandemic tomorrow, would you listen to Fauci? And so many answers were yes. And I was like, oh my God. Those are the people that you just can't fix stupid.
No, you can't fix it.
And then throughout this conversation before that one about Fauci, he wants to bring up Trump, and I kept not only this time but other times I go, bro, this is not about Trump. Get that shit out of your mind. You're so deeply disturbed with TDS that it's nothing to do with Trump. This is about Fauci and what he did. So then I put up, and I had this video. We'll put it later. I'll say more about when I put it in a video. But this is Kennedy going back and forth with Dana Bash. I mean, trust the science, right? But how are you going to trust science when they doctored the science or left certain science out or any of that? How do you trust that?
You can't trust somebody like Fauci. I've said it before. I'll say it again. A lot of psychopaths, a lot of serial killers, a lot of sociopaths abuse animals. Fauci's an animal abuser. He's heartless. This guy doesn't care. And I believe the only reason he hasn't fled the country is because he just can't give up the adoration of these people that are broken. That are like, oh, Anthony Fauci, oh, I love you, man. You're the best. People that are sending him flowers. You got to be fucking kidding me. The only thing I'd want to send this guy, I'm not going to say on air. All right, let's play this clip. RFK Jr. handling Dana Bash. And once again, Dana Bash, how does this bitch still have her job at CNN? She doesn't know anything. She just spews out the same rhetoric she force-fed like a Gerber baby.
All right, here we go.
You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country. And it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it
it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. Let's come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not
all
debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to
Am I
tell the
allowed
truth
to talk?
to the American
yes,
public.
yes. And my job
And
is
to
to
be-
get as
and
much
to-
information as I
and
can.
to maintain
what we were doing, what we were doing,
skepticism.
what we were
government
doing
authority.
in COVID and still, with regard to these vaccines, is getting the best information, the best science that we can, and putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing
getting the best
information
science
to
from
be out
somebody
there that
who's
is
lying to
not
you.
accurate.
Who was lying to
The
you?
national.
Yep. That's why I can't believe the MSM. Don't believe the hype. What? Lance,
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
When you're watching mainstream media, what I would warn the audience, I don't care what you're watching, C-SPAN, CNN, NBC, common sense. You have to question everything that comes out of their mouths because it's a paid op most of the time. Dana Bash doesn't know shit about the truth and doesn't want to admit the truth. She'd rather launder it with a bunch of garbage spewing out of her mouth. And this is the thing. CNN wonders why its ratings are down. Well, CNN, it doesn't take a lot. If you want to bring me into one of your board of directors meetings or your big executive meeting, I'll tell you why your ratings suck. Because of people like Dana Bash. The American public's level of trust with mainstream media when last polled is in the basement. They don't believe they tell them the truth. They believe that it's a narrative operation, that it's a controlled psyop. Dana Bash is here. She knows the truth. Fauci's got caught with his pants pulled down around his ankles. And we know it now. Everybody knows it that has any common sense. That's why you guys are here watching this show. Common sense. Listen, you guys know that we want to tell you the truth. We're not going to kiss anybody's ass. We're not a paid foreign agent. We don't promote one country or another. We don't promote one party or another. We tell you like it is. RFK Jr. is telling the truth. Anybody that's still listening to Anthony Fauci, you got to be one dumb mofo. And for that guy on Facebook that's been bantering with George, you can't win, buddy, because you're on the wrong side of history. I personally believe that many states are going to enjoin this action against Anthony Fauci. I mentioned it to George the other day. He was of the mindset that he'd like to see states do it separately, but you've already got 3 states working together now. Florida started the run. I think you're going to have 10, 12, 15, 20 states enjoin that action. Anthony Fauci is going to face consequences at a state level because, well, the cover-up is real. Joe Biden gave out those auto pen pardons like he was giving out Lay's potato chips. He just said, hey, here's some potato chips for everybody. Get a pardon. It wasn't him. It was the people in the office. I still don't understand why those are staying in place. I still don't understand why we caught them all, why the Joe Biden presidency hasn't been overturned. I can't believe Donald Trump said I respect Joe Biden's presidential pardons. Well, maybe he meant the ones that were signed by Joe. I think there was only one, correct, George? Only Hunter Biden's pardon was signed by him. Is that right?
Correct. But so you have multiple states. I didn't hear anything of them joining together. But right now you have multiple states that are launch criminal investigations to Fauci. One being Florida, Louisiana, and Alabama that we know of so far. Not that it's a joint thing.
Criminally, I hope he loses the rest of his life behind bars. He caused a tremendous amount of financial.
We'll get to Fauci. We got a thing for Fauci later, though.
I just want to see Fauci hung out to dry. I'd like to see him get the death sentence, to be honest with you.
I mean, all right, since we're talking about Fauci, I'm just going to put up this video. We're going to skip commercial, Lance. It doesn't make sense. We're already 45 in. So here's a little, we're going to go back down Fauci memory lane. And when I put this video up, I sent it to that liberal on Facebook. No comment, just like one of them stupid laugh emojis or something. No comment, which is typical because there's no defense for this. There's nothing.
Is this a Wayne's World? Is this a timeline backwards?
I mean,
Wayne's
starting in 2020, I should say. Let me just play
Anthony Fauci.
The highlights. Say one thing, but do another.
Meta-analysis studies show that, contrary to what we thought, masks really do work in preventing infection.
No doubt.
So, no doubt.
So when you find out you were wrong, you don't double down.
People should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. Right now, the message is the vaccines are very effective in preventing serious disease. So the data are very, very clear that A, you need a booster. The nature of those viruses that were studied were evolutionarily so far distant from what turned out to be SARS-CoV-2 that no matter what you did with those viruses, you would not be able to do that. Obviously, there are two possibilities that are being entertained, and I think we need to keep a completely open mind until we have definitive proof.
Dr. Fauci, did you delete any emails or records related to the Wuhan lab or the origins of the virus?
No, I did not. I am very happy to testify before any congressional oversight committee. I have nothing to hide. On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. I have not been misleading the American public under any circumstances.
Bullshit.
It's what liars do. Liars lie. He's very good at lying. And of course, he took the fifth 111 or 112 times.
I mean,
nothing to hide.
Lance, science doesn't lie, though.
Yeah.
And he said, trust the science. So you could trust the science, but you can't trust the people that's talking about the science or trying to dole it out.
I have to be honest, I'd take the jail time. If I saw Anthony Fauci walking through a Costco, I don't think it would be possible for me not to walk up and give him one giant power slap across the face. I don't think it'd be possible. I'd have to do it for the American public. I'd have to do it for those people that lost their lives, for the people that lost their businesses, for the atrocities that he did. I'd have to give him one serious New York to East Coast to West Coast slap. I might be a running slap. That's how much power I'd want to put behind it. Because this guy is a piece of shit. He's a liar. He belongs behind bars. It's my personal opinion. But this is horrendous. I mean, look at all those lies in that. And then I have nothing to hide. Well, then why did you take the fifth 111, 112 times, Dr. Anthony Fauci? And by the way, I'm still confused about this, George. The pardon wasn't just for the COVID period under Joe Biden. The pardon was from 2014 and up. Why did Anthony Fauci need a pardon from 2014 up? Is that when he started to work with Wuhan? Is that when he started to work on this scamdemic? I don't know, but it seems odd that they had to go even further into his history than what was actually what we thought the issue was. 2014.
I mean, if you really
want,
want
the audience knows, I'd love to know what the answer is to that.
I mean,
I don't know.
If you really want to mess with Fauci, go back to the AIDS era and look up all his stuff. I'm sure you can find stuff that he manipulated, lied to, and because he caused a lot of harm with that. But you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But let's see what I think Florida's they're gonna come up with something. Because DeSantis would want that win because he knows what it'll do for him.
I hope.
You could just think about it on a debate stage with Rubio, Vance, and whoever's else up there. Well, I'm the only person up here that successfully went after Fauci and threw his ass in prison and won.
Well, the great news is he'll be going to if they are able to do that, he'll be going to a state high-level prison. They'll become Bubba's bitch, and he'll suffer the consequences of his actions because it won't be any cushy federal camp prison. It won't be anything like that for him. I'd like to see him face the worst consequences. I'd like to see all the money clawed back he made off of COVID. I think the people that suffered because of what Anthony Fauci did, they need some justice. All right, let's talk about, I don't understand this. I'm like,
I'll explain it to you.
What the frick is the WNBA doing? I just don't, this organization is doing some of the dumbest shit when it comes to the promotion and the public. I mean, Sophie Cunningham is on fire. You see her all over social media. People love her. They love her defense of women's sports. They love what she does for Caitlin Clark. They love the way that she puts herself out there 100%. I love her. I think she's great. Explain to me, George, why would the WNBA, when somebody brings up Sophie Cunningham's defense of women's sports, they shut down the press conference? Now explain to me why.
Because they don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, what boggles my mind is women fought for so long for women's rights, the right to vote, the right to have women's sports. But meanwhile, they want to kill women's sports by allowing men in them. Make that make sense, somebody, anybody. What I think, you know what the Fever should do? They should find somebody that just couldn't make it in the NBA, like somebody young, throw a wig on them. Matter of fact, find 2 of them, put wigs on them, and throw them on the team right now. What do you think of those apples, huh? I think that would be fire right now. Why not?
The PR director, Jackie Maynard, is a coward. This is unbelievable. She the minute this happened, the minute this reporter said, speaking of outside noise, Sophie Cunningham came out with, she cut him off. She said, we're going to wrap up here. Players Aliyah Boston and Michaela Timpson jumped out of their seats and left the room. They said Boston offered a quick brief, thank you and have a good day. You know, this whole thing was, they edited it out of the Fever's official YouTube upload of the press conference. Why do you need to you know, edit it out? WNBA. The WNBA has got a horrible look. You've got these young girls all over the nation that are seeing this as an opportunity to maybe go further with their sports careers. They're excited about it. The girls love Sophie Cunningham. They love her position. And she's right. Biological males do not belong competing in women's sports. They've got an unfair advantage. It's not about hating transgenderism.
Gatorades.
Yeah, I mean, Cunningham is right. And for this PR person, shame on you, Jackie Maynard. You're a coward. And so is the WNBA at this point. You should be embracing Caitlin Clark. You should be protecting them. Without Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, I'm going to go down a limb. The WNBA would probably be hemorrhaging so much money that their future would be unlikely, that they wouldn't have a future. Cunningham and Clark are the only reason the WNBA, because it sure as hell isn't these other players. Let's play this clip.
It's short.
There's always going to be outside noise, but I think we've been professionals long enough to know that if you let that affect you, then you're not really here for the right things. And so for us, we just keep the main thing, and that's hoops.
Hey, speaking of that outside noise, Sophie, your teammate, Sophie came out with
Oh, thank you. Have a good day.
Even the player didn't even want to say anything. It's like they were probably, it seems like they were told not to
They
even.
were coached.
Yeah. But I don't know. Now I seen a post where they're trying to say, turn this into a black thing too. What that has nothing to do with nothing. But they're just trying anything. I mean, it's sad. The WNBA is lost. I keep saying, Caitlin Clark, you should just go to Europe and play. Screw these people here.
I would tell you this: if Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark went to Europe to play, the WNBA would.
If Caitlin Clark,
over.
period, even without Sophie.
No, but if Sophie went with her also, that would add a whole different contingency, because I think Sophie's online presence has become massive. The memes have been on fire. She's getting mentioned everywhere. Everybody supports her position. You know, you've got all these young girls that just love her, that are posting about her and talking about her. Because, of course, these are young girls that maybe had to go up against trans athletes and realize how unfair it is. You can take a subpar male trans athlete and then put him into a women's division, and all of a sudden, as a male, he couldn't even rank. And now all of a sudden you put him in a female sport, and of course, oh, he's a winner. Yeah. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's just
Speaking
ridiculous.
of winners, oh, the irony here. The irony. Oh, my God. Here's the Democrats. Mayor Socialist Mandami from New York. They're talking about the government grocery stores that he's going to make open up. And a reporter asked a question, and they says, well, you're going to need like a library card-esque ID to buy anything in the store. Wait, what? You're going to need an ID to go into a government grocery store and buy some, but you don't need an ID to vote?
How come that's not racist? I mean, they're saying that voter ID is racist, right? That's their whole claim to fame. Voter ID is racist. How is not needing an ID to go into the grocery store then not racist? See, this is the whole thing. They talk out of one side of their mouth and then they talk out of the other side of their mouth. And anybody that doesn't support voter ID, well, they're a cheater. They're a coward. They're a traitor to this country. You need voter ID. The SAVE Act's got to be passed. Mondami, you know, I'm going to predict something. New York is going to continue to have this massive exodus of high wage earning people, of high net worth people, and big companies because they don't want to do business there.
Well, you see a lot of the Jewish people are talking about they don't want them by, you know, nowhere near 9/11, you know, when they do their memorial that day. Motherfuckers, you voted for him too. We told you this was going to happen. You didn't want to listen. You know what? Suffer the wrath. I don't care. Let me play this clip.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, you know, that deal basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque, and also we manage who's buying and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that, and so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
Now, a real reporter would have did a follow-up question. Wait a minute. You just stated that they're going to need a library S or some type of ID to get in a grocery store, but you don't need an ID to vote? That'd have been a great follow-up question. And you'd hear all the bullshit that they're going to say.
Absolutely. You know, I look at Mondami, and I have to be honest, all I can think is power slap. That's all I can think. Every time he opens his mouth, all I can think is power slap. I think every time I see him in that failed rapper's outfit when he tried to be a rapper. Yeah. And all I can think is this guy needs a power slap. All right. Texas DPS arrests gang members during high school pursuits, smuggling 8 illegal aliens. 3 of them, interestingly enough, special interest aliens from China. What that means is potentially CCP intelligence operatives. That's the translation of special interest aliens. Here we are. More border invasion. And of course, that sounds like the VIP service you can get because there's a VIP service that the cartels offer to higher level people if they want to pay the extra money. They'll guarantee you entry into the United States. Of course, you have to pay a lot more for it. What do you think here, George? This is pretty unnerving that we have special interests, which is CCP intelligence operatives.
I mean, we reported that when Biden was in office, and we had what's the name on the show talking about China operatives coming over the border. You know, everybody say, "Oh no, that's not happening," this and that, but yet here they are. They just got caught. Tell me again, why? I mean, just think, how many they found those 2-3 operatives in this bunch? Think about how many got away. I wonder how many terrorists came over. Any Iranian terrorists that came over the border? Or Afghan terrorists? Any terrorists? You can't say it's not possible. That's like saying, oh, there's no immigrants that vote in elections. Meanwhile, there was over 6,000 registered in New Jersey and a bunch of them voted. But before it said, oh, it would never happen. But it did happen. And this is happening now with whoever's trying to come over the border sneaking. You know, they still have tunnels that we don't know about where they're bringing people over.
Mm-hmm.
You would think. So, I mean, because there's still drugs coming in the country from over there. How are they getting them in? Lance, let me play this clip because I gotta take a call.
Yep.
Driver 3060.
3 Edward 061.
Show me 1080. It's gonna be takes. Heading northbound. Vehicle's gonna be driving on the wrong side of the road.
10-4 vehicles driving on the wrong side of the road. you have any air access for this trip? I'm gonna try to make contact with them right now.
Vehicle pit. Just successful.
3 Edward 306. Could vehicle successful.
¡Al suelo! ¡Al suelo! ¡Al suelo! ¡Al suelo! ¡Al suelo! ¡Get down! ¡Al suelo! No pursuit. Get down! Get down on the floor! Get down on the floor! Get down on the floor! KSI! Bail out. Driver's in custody. Voltate! Turn around! Manos atrás! Manos atrás! Manos atrás! Manos atrás.
3 Edward 306 status.
Driver 060, code 4. Driver in custody. Several DAs in custody as well, BP.
That was gunfire, right?
I don't know. I didn't see any windows open. It had the sound of gunfire, but I don't think it was because they probably would have started firing into the vehicle immediately if they were returning fire. Kind of sounded like it, but I don't think it was. Yeah. So the invasion still goes on. It doesn't mean that our border patrol isn't doing an amazing job. Tom Homan, I love him. He's one of the great picks of Donald Trump. So he's doing the job like he should. We're working on getting Greg Bavino on the show. His people are supposed to be reaching out to me to look at some dates. So I made a call to Washington, D.C. with the person that's helping with that. I'll let you guys know if we get him. He's got some great inside information, and he's got a new book out. So I'll let you know when that gets done. Well, listen, of course, if you love the show, it's simple. You can do a paid subscription for $5 a month. You can hit that follow button. You can share our content on your own social media. Please help it share far and wide. You can find George on Instagram and Facebook, and then you can find us on X, True Social, Gab and Getter, Lance Miliaccio, G Pounding, and The Big Mig Show. Don't forget to join the community over on The Big Mig Show on X. Feel free to get in there so we can give you extra information. And, of course, anything you can do to support the show, any Rumble Rant tips, always greatly appreciated. All that stuff goes towards running these shows, which, man, there's plenty of overhead, I can tell you that. But the number one thing is you guys giving us our time today. So we really appreciate the raids today. What was it called, George? What was that? Iron Toe Boot? What was it? Steel Toe Boot?
The Mike Schwartz Show and I don't know the other one. Hold on. Steel Toe Morning Show.
Steel Toe Morning Show. So thanks for those raids today. Give those guys a follow. We greatly appreciate it. Now, listen, the drill is when you leave here, even if you don't watch us on YouTube, go over to YouTube and give us a follow. We're trying to grow our account back up. Same thing on all major podcast platforms, Apple, iHeart, you name it, Spotify. We're on all of them. Any of those ones you're a member of, please give us a follow, share our content, do what you can to help us grow. Because, of course, growing those are all part of this. We're trying to get a bigger voice and do what we can to do it, make sure we're helping to educate and unify the country one episode at a time. So, all right, George, I guess we got a guest later in the week. You've got a guest for us?
Huh?
Is that next Monday? Next Monday we have a guest?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we've got a guest. George will be announcing that before too long. We'll give you some information on that. We're working on some other guests right now. We'll keep you posted. All right, God Country family, we appreciate you guys. We're blessed for having you here. George, last words, my brother.
Oh, thanks, Orny old fart. He says I like Georgie because he looks like my brother.
Yeah.
But he called me Georgie. See you guys later. Have a good night. Good day.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. Don't leave your future to chance. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at prepperbar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.